And welcome back to part 4 of Tomb Raider 2013, where today we're going to try and retrieve those supplies so we can help Roth out, and because in that supply stash is a way that we can try and contact the others. The first thing of note is these little statues you'll see scattered around here that unfortunately it's not easy for us to really do anything with them right now. Like, you can, but it's more work than it's worth kind of thing. Same with this door over here. We can't bring it down right now because we don't have the required sources to do so. That's why you can quick travel between campsites, because they expect you to come back to these areas to hunt down the rest of the secrets when you've got more supplies. But essentially those little statue things in the middle, you can light them up, and it's just another collectible to work towards 100% is lighting them all. But, well, we don't have an easy way of just lighting a torch at will. We have to wait another part for that. Because looking at like what we've got in the game and how far along we are, it might be end of this part, it might be next part we get the striker, so we can light the torch ourselves without having to find a fire source. But we'll see how it goes. But we got another secret in here, and it's another thing that we can examine for more info. If you examine the back, you've got numbers. I'd like to think it's enemies killed, because that's a lot of friends to lose otherwise. But that is a high number. Right, now where are you supposed to go from here? You gotta work your way up to the wolf's den, but actually getting up there can be a bit... let me go up and around. It can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. But at least there's like more salvage down here, so it wasn't a wasted journey falling down here. Also, you're gonna... Just like for future reference, I don't like Lara's movement speed in this game, and I say this knowing full well that it's something that kind of played the Legend trilogy to an extent as well. Like, it was a very long uphill battle to get Lara's movement speed in a comfortable position, but Lara is slow, but her jumps and rolls are faster, so you're going to see me jumping a bunch or rolling a bunch throughout this game. Probably more so jumping. Like, I roll more like just to try and sort of just do something different really, but you're going to see me jump like a moron for like, a lot of this game, just because it's quicker to get around. But I'm also, like, in my spare time when I'm not playing this, I'm actually playing through the Legend trilogy. When I say Legend trilogy, I might not do Underworld because I don't like it as much as Legend and Anniversary. But in that game it's the same deal. You just spam tap the jump button, it's slightly faster than if you keep on running. And I know the fastest way to get around Anniversary is actually to aim and jump sideways, like hold the aim button and then keep on jumping sideways, because Lara covers a lot of ground, weirdly enough, when you jump sideways. But then I can't see where I'm going because it isn't a 2D game, so I'd rather just do the little hop, so it's a bit faster than the jogging speed that she does in Legend and Anniversary. In Underworld they give her a sprint just to get rid of it in the reboot, and then not bring it back in Rise, and then go, oh yeah, right, that's a thing, and bring it back in Shadow, kind of. But one thing at a time. When we get up here, this is as far as they want you to go. Like, you can journey over there, and there's an optional tomb, but we'll come back for it. We've got to come back up here anyway a little later on, so we'll just get it on our way. Or we can go it on our way down, assuming we don't need the climbing axe, which is our next upgrade. The next upgrade on the list that we get is the climbing axe. I don't know if we need the climbing axe for the next one. I don't think we do. Because the next optional tune is the one that most people actually make their first one, because they usually miss that one that we did by the campfire near Whitman. Because they usually just do the objective for Whitman and move on. They don't really look around enough. But the Wolf's Den is kind of underutilized. Like, they could have made it. Like, I don't expect it to make it too much bigger, but just a bit bigger, and then litter it with actual wolves to fight. And make it that if you haven't got enough resources, you have to get out of there and actually find them to survive. Because this is the only wolf, and it's just quick time events. And there, and okay, he's not quite dead. Oh, you got a mash triangle, you got to keep on stabbing him until he dies. And that's kinda it. But I'm not gonna... I don't like the quick time events, but I'm not going to be too critical on them because it's kind of like a weird staple of Crystal Dynamics' games at this point. They've always had them. When Crystal Dynamics started doing the Lara Croft games, starting with Legend, they've always had quick time events. Sequences. What was it? We're passing the tomb. I'll have a look and see if we actually do need the climbing axe or not. I think we might. Yeah, we do need the climbing axe. Never mind. We'll come back for that in a little bit, because we will be getting the climbing axe when we get down to Roth anyway. Oh, there's another GPS down there. The GPS is probably the most pain in the ass thing to hunt down if you're going for 100% in this game. Like, you can get maps that show you where they are, but they're still so tiny that you could easily find yourself just running around spamming the square button until she randomly picks at a piece of grass. Because it's what it feels like. Also, I can't remember this being in the 360 version of the game, but it's certainly in this version, and it's been really bugging me, and I feel like I really need to mention it. To bring up the map, you have to hold down the select button, or hold down the touchpad. Why? Why do you have to hold it down? You have to hold it down for like a little while as well, and then it finally pops up. If you just press it, nothing happens. It's such a bizarre choice to make, but either way, we're here with Roth, we've got supplies, let's get our axe and save Roth's life and, you know, actually get a move on with the plot.
Right. Let's get you patched up.
Where does a young lady like you learn to do a thing like that?
Late shift at the 9 Bells. Wolf's got nothing on a broken bottle.
Hey, you got it. Nice work.
So I assume the plan is to take that up to the radio tower.
Well, it should give us the best shot of broadcasting a strong signal in every direction. We need to send out that SOS. And I'm not climbing anytime soon.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that.
You can do it, Laura. After all, you're a Croft.
I don't think I'm that kind of Croft.
Sure you are. You just don't know it yet.
Well, let's hope I'm a fast learner then.
Just be careful, Laura.
And we have the climbing axe, yay! And there's two ways of using axe climb. There's the way they expect you to use it, and the way that literally everyone uses it. The way that literally everyone uses it is spamming the jump button and keep on tapping square. Because it's just so much quicker, because this is the slow way. This is the way they expect you to climb all of this, and this is slow as shit. There's a reason why they give you speed upgrades to climb in the sequels that actually are worth a damn. Because they were aware that no one was actually doing it the intended way because it was too slow. And when you've got that problem, you need to address it in your sequels or address it in some way. Because there are ways of upgrading your climbing speed, but it's just never enough to counter jumping. Especially if you get into a rhythm for it. Because if you just spam X and spam square, you'll hook back on like almost too quickly, so it won't be worth it. But if you get into a rhythm of timing your X and your square button, it's so quick. But the fact that it's actually marked the tomb now, like it's saying that it's marking the tomb on our map, tells us that they actually planned for us to be here now. And since this is the first like one that they mark on it, it's probably the bigger reason why this is the first one most people discover, because it's in the way. The game forces you to light that torch. I didn't do that because we got to walk through another load screen. It's just like, great, so I'm going to go back on my point whilst we go back through this. You have to hold down the touchpad to bring up the map. And I believe their reasoning for this is because they make the touchpad interactive with a bunch of things. If I swipe down, assuming we're not, you know, in a walking load screen like this, if I swipe down on the touchpad, Lara will extinguish the torch. Where it used to be, you just hold circle and she extinguishes it. Which is what I use more often. But if you flick, when we get the striker later on, if you flick up on the touchpad, she'll light it again. Or holding square will do it in our old-fashioned way. I'm going to make it so I can carry more ammo, because we're going to start getting more weapons pretty soon. And I don't think I've got enough salvage to get anything. That's 200. 450. Oh yeah, no, I can't really get anything. That last box is just costumes, so you won't worry about that. I believe the costumes came with the definitive edition, because they sure as shit weren't there when I played it on the 360. And that was just to make sure you can't carry your torch through. If there's ever water blocking a room, it means firstly fire is something that's going to be important to the tomb, and secondly it's making sure you know you're out of the load scene. But it kind of, if you go out of your way to get the striker, some of these tombs kind of lose their value. Because if you like, skip this one and come back with it with the striker, although the fire source is right there, so you're only saving a couple seconds, I can imagine, like in a speed run, you'd still just come back when you get the striker, right? But when you take all the weight on this off, it will make it so Lara's weight won't carry the lift down, so you can try and put stuff on the other side to lift it up, which is what we want, so then we can get it high enough to reach the end. When you push this, this will lift up. Yeah, because there's nothing weighing it back down, so it will stay down. However, I think it will weigh down with our weight after a while. Or not? Okay, never mind. I thought it would start ticking down, so you'd have to be quick, but no, it just kind of did it for us. And that's the optional tomb. That's it. What do we do? Light 3 corpses and push a box. Well, light 3 pieces of cloth and push a box. That's an optional tomb? That's not an optional tomb. The same way that breaking a plane wasn't last time. That's really the biggest thing that annoys me. But I will correct myself from the previous part. I said that you don't get anything other than experience. That's not true. When you beat a tomb, well, when you beat all the tombs in an area, because some areas do have more than one, you unlock the map of the area. And the map of the area, although you have your own map that you can bring up the touchpad at any point, the map of the area will show you where the collectibles are, roundabout, so you can have an easier time going for 100% without using a guide. Additionally, in very specific ones later on, they will give you a part of a weapon upgrade while you're at it. But these are parts of weapon upgrades that you can also get by other means, so it still doesn't really add much worth to it when you compare to the natural abilities that it straight up just gives you in Rise and Shadow. Like, it gives Lara permanent upgrades to her natural abilities with or without weapons in Rise and Shadow, and they're just far superior ways of making it feel worthwhile because you feel it immediately. Also, be careful with the timing of the square button. If you let go of square, like, before she touches the wall, she'll just, like, hug the wall that you saw there. But we've got 3 enemies up here, and they're trying to imply with the rain that they can't hear you, but they absolutely will if you jump around, so ignore it, it's just for effect.
Stay alert. Let's move inside.
I wonder if we could jump over there. Oh no, he saw us, never mind. So I thought with the low rock and everything that was there, I thought I might be able to just squeeze it through and just sit there to get a better position. Oh, in hindsight, I should have just shot the lantern above him and just make it crash down on him. Oh, never mind. Look, I just caught my eye on it as I shot him. I was just like, oh, hang on. I probably could have done the same with the first guy if he hadn't spotted me as well. There's another torch in there. And there's a random chicken in here for some reason. But we got another wall that's a little bit more tucked away, but it's not too bad. Take us up here. Another thing that we can't light yet. Well, I said there's a torch there, so we could theoretically light it and then go back for it. But I want to get that because that GPS is glowing and annoying me. But we can at least use the light for the piece behind us. And then there'll probably be a cut coming up because I'm going to save this recording because I don't know how long I've been recording for. And I don't want to hit my end record limit. So, there we go. Hopefully that didn't look too bad. I usually have a timer with me and my timer kind of broke. So I'm having to work a bit more on guesswork. And of course, when you don't actually have a concept at a time, you get paranoid of how much time you've actually spent. This is way too over-dramatified. Even without the slow-mo, you would have spotted it and reacted to it. It's really...
Lara, are you there?
But that red beacon over there is the signal tower we need to get to. And it looks pretty far away, but we'll be there pretty soon.
Hey, Lara. You're gonna need to find the communications console. It'll look like a bunch of old switchboards.
Okay.
I'll let you know when I find it.
But of course, it's not that easy to just get there. There's going to be more enemies to be around.
You don't need to do this!
And I'm not making the same mistake twice. Let's see if I can catch... Oh, I barely missed him. You're going to see me use the bow and arrow more often than any other weapon. Not just because it's a bow and arrow. Like, I don't mind using the gun. I actually enjoy using the gun. It's just the fact that we can get our arrows back. We can't get bullets back. So until ammo and our resources becomes more plentiful in how we acquire it, it's just easier to use the bow because we're not wasting resources. Well, at least assuming we don't miss, we're not wasting resources.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You have a bad feeling about this, that doesn't give me a good hope. Oh, but we've got a cutscene, so I'm going to have to shut up again before we head over to the radio tower.
Telling you, Reyes, it's mechanical, not an electrical problem.
Now, Alex.
This looks like it might be an electrical problem.
You think?
Oh, hello. Hey, who's this little fox, huh?
Ah, she's cute, huh? Yes,
Yeah.
Alicia.
Alicia.
It's
I
my
like
daughter.
that. Oh.
14 years old. And smarter than you'll ever be.
She must get that from her father.
Don't give him the attention. And, yeah.
I'll take a look at this. Probably electrical. From her father. Nice one.
So I was on the lock, right? Doing a spot of midnight fishing.
Hey, Grim. Time to button down the hatches.
I'd be right with you. So I was on the lock, right? And this thing comes looming at me. Looming out of the water it was. So I give it a old Glasgow kiss, you know. Gets you out of trouble 9 times out of 10, that does. Took me a week to sleep that night off. And I've not touched a drop since. See you at dinner, Sam.
All right, can we take B-roll, please? Thank you. Dr. James Whitman, filler 15, take 3, and action.
Okay, now take a firm grip and then slice him down the belly, like this. Yeah, you got it.
Good Lord, cut! 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 Cut!
Is he coming back?
I'll go get him.
World-renowned archaeologist. I discover
The world-renowned
rare
archaeologist,
breeds of fish.
Mr.
I don't
Dr. James
cut rare
Whitman.
breeds of fish.
It's just a fish. It's
I know
fine.
it's just
You're
a
gonna be
fish.
fine.
This damned reality TV business. I'm meant to be bringing culture to the people, Sam, not dinner. No offense, Jonah.
The audience demands content, Dr. Whitman. You know that. So until we find the Lost Kingdom, we need footage like this. Come on, let's just take it from the top, okay? We're gonna make you look like Gordon Ramsay in editing. Dr. James Whitman, filler 15, take 4, action.
Okay, now take a firm grip. And then slice him down the belly. Like that.
I've studied them so much, I can see charts on the back of my eyelids. But if I'm not right about Yamatai being in the Dragon's Triangle...
I remember when you found that on one of your father's days. You ran up and showed it to me dressed in your penguin pajamas.
I was 5 years old. It was my first find.
Yeah. You've got great instincts, girl. You just have to trust them.
That's what my father used to say.
Now, there was a man that ran on instinct. For better or worse. He would have been so proud of you, Lara.
We're getting closer to the storm.
Well, whatever's coming, we'll get through it, eh?
And after all that time showing more about all the characters, kind of, sort of, not really, we get to move on to the radio tower. Because literally, all they did with that is say that every character fits into a stereotype of some kind, and that's all they've got. Which I know is a lot of things, and a lot of different stories because media has done that, but I don't know, it just feels a bit more disingenuous in this game. Like, it feels a bit more like, okay, here they are. And we also get to see more of Whitman just being an absolute twat, which is always fun, I suppose. But either way, I'm going to call it a part. Next time on Tomb Raider 2013, we're going to push up to that radio tower to try and call for that SOS signal, so we can maybe try and get out of here. But until then, you guys take care now.